WWE this year honestly did a really good job with WrestleMania. I'm being dead serious. I think this show, from top to bottom, yes, there was some stuff that wasn't great. There was some stuff which, did it need to be there? No, and we'll get to that later on. But across the board, I'd say it's fairly objective. The WrestleMania 38 was an enjoyable, fun, moment-filled WrestleMania, which in the modern day, that's about as good as we can hope for. That's about as much as we can ask for from WWE, and I feel like, quite frankly, they delivered in droves. From the Cody Rhodes moment, which that's probably my favorite moment of the show, maybe, or the Steve Austin stuff on night one. I thought both of those were just fantastic. The Cody Rhodes, just, shocking WWE return, which the dirt sheets had tried to spoil for 2 months. The Cody moment itself, Rollins he's waiting in the ring. They're building up suspense, they're building up tension. Rollins, who will it be? Who will it be? Personally, I honestly thought WWE would have Shane McMahon come out or something goofy like that. Instead, WWE have Cody Rhodes make his way down. The crowd goes absolutely crazy. The moment was awesome. Personally speaking, I'm not someone who's like, oh my god, Cody Rhodes, the best wrestler in the world. I've been in his bandwagon since day one, but my god, dude, like the way they presented him here, the way he felt with 75,000 people or 77,000 people in night one screaming for him, cheering. He's this unanimous, all-conquering babyface. It felt fun. It felt vibrant. It felt cool. Just watching that made me want to see Cody Rhodes more. It made me want to see how they use Cody Rhodes going forward in WWE with that sort of presentation. Feeling like a big-time babyface star. Hopefully it stays that way and fans don't turn on him too quick. But yeah, the presentation, that was sick. The Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins match was really damn fun. Really enjoyable. 22 minutes that went with Rhodes and Rollins. You know what you're going to get from Seth Rollins? Seth Rollins, not that he's the modern day Mr. WrestleMania, but as far as putting on a great match, making someone look like $1 million, that's Seth's specialty. And Cody Rhodes, he was the beneficiary of it. Cody, he did his bionic elbow, the crossroads, the Cody cutter, all that sort of stuff. It was a fun match, and it was really enjoyable and a real highlight of the show, a real highlight of WrestleMania weekend. So, yeah, Cody's back in the E now, which is cool. And then one thing I want to mention as well with night one, Belair and Lynch. This is a match coming in which I can't say I really cared much for, and in fairness, I didn't really care much for anything coming into the show. I thought the way WWE built this show was not the greatest. In hindsight, the way they built the Seth Rollins stuff and the Kevin Owens stuff, it turned out really well on the night, and even this Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair thing. Remember 8 months ago at SummerSlam when Becky Lynch buried Bianca Belair? Yeah, Bianca Belair felt real buried on Saturday night, didn't she? As she held the Raw Women's Championship proudly above her head, reigning supreme over Becky Lynch for the next reign. And really, watching this made me go, Bianca Belair is like the star. She has it. Obviously, Roman Reigns on the male side is the guy. He's the superstar. He's the head of the table. Yada yada, you know the drill. But on the female side of the spectrum, Bianca Belair and what she brings to the table, the entrance, they took Cena's WrestleMania 24 marching band entrance, kind of rehashed it with Bianca Belair, and it was sick. It was a megastar's entrance, and boy oh boy, the match itself with Becky was really good as well. The match itself, 20 odd minutes as well. Becky Lynch, this is the first time she's lost a match clean since, 2018, you'd say? Well, as far as her not holding a championship, because as far as when Becky Lynch has been actively employed, she's been a champion of some, extent since WrestleMania 35, when she's been active. So, really, Becky Lynch, first time she hasn't held a title actively since 35, so 3 years, if you get what I'm saying. Hopefully you do. So, yeah, this match is really enjoyable. Bianca Belair is just a superstar. She really is. As well, night one, I'm covering the night one stuff first, because personally, I enjoyed night one overall a bit more. So I'm just discuss that first, and yeah, might as well. It's my channel. You'll have to see it. The Miz and Logan Paul stuff, I enjoyed this. I actually did. The Miz becoming a celebrity, match wrestler is kind of, it gives him a role, I don't hate it. Obviously, the Bad Bunny stuff last year was better than this, but, this was pretty fun, I'd say. Logan Paul, he's just a natural. natural at getting heel heat, natural at working a crowd, natural at the athletic side of things. He's just the natural sports entertainer. That's what Logan is. He's an entertainer, a sports, amateur wrestling background, collegiate wrestling. It was great. It was fun. It was enjoyable. I thought, the ending of this match, Logan Paul and The Miz get the win. They do the heel turn with Miz hitting a skull-crushing finale on Logan Paul. So maybe they'll have a match at SummerSlam, or maybe at WrestleMania Backlash. I don't know. But yeah, the reality is Logan Paul, he was really enjoyable. It was entertaining. Maybe next year at WrestleMania, we'll see The Miz and Will Smith versus Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett Smith or something. I don't know. I'm not the booker here. Bruce Pritchard is. But yeah, that was fun. Then the main event of night one, I had so much fun watching this, and as did most of you guys. This was just a blast. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kevin Owens. Yes, 2 months out, when I got told Austin and Owens might be having a match at WrestleMania, I was like, WTF, why? But the way they did this, the way they executed it in reality was just sensational. I thought how they had Kevin Owens trashing Texas for weeks on Raw wasn't the best TV, but you get to WrestleMania night, Kevin Owens is in the ring, he's once again trashing Texas a bit more, Steve Austin's music hits, the crowd absolutely goes off their wazoo. The crowd is going in just crazy for Stone Cold Steve Austin, which 77,000, diehard Texas natives going nuts for Stone Cold. It was brilliant. Kevin Owens trash talks, Austin a little bit. Austin just snaps at Owens, just berates him verbally for like a minute. The crowd went nuts. Then Owens just, trash talks Austin a bit more, demands he wrestles a match, says he called him out to beat him in the middle of the ring in Texas at WrestleMania. Austin, he plays up the crowd. Austin accepts. The crowd erupts. They do the match, no holds barred. Austin played the hits. He did the stomp in the mud hole. He had, the beers involved in the match. He was just, hitting his punches and the stunner, and they had Owens hit the stunner, and Austin kicked out, and Austin hit the stunner, and Owens didn't kick out. Stone Cold got the win. This was exceptional. I mean, as far as a farewell, final match, a fitting send-off, this is about as good as you can hope for. A WWE all-time Mount Rushmore great like Stone Cold Steve Austin in his hometown, Dallas, Texas. This was beautifully done. It really was. This was downright exceptional. An incredible ending to night one. Night one overall, if I'm giving that show a rating, I'd give it about a 7.5. I thought the Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin match was just kind of there. It was meh. The opening match with the Usos, Nakamura and Boogs, wasn't great. Obviously, Rick Boogs hurt his knee in the process of that match. Hopefully, Rick Boogs is okay. But yeah, the first two matches, it felt like a glorified SmackDown. Then they did the Miz and Logan Paul stuff, and the rest of the show felt entertaining, felt exciting, except for Charlotte and Ronda. That was mid. So yeah, overall, night one, 7.5 out of 10. Then we move, night two. This show for night two, lots of kind of WrestleMania moments on this one. The main one I can think of really off the top of my head is, Roman Reigns holding 2 titles now. The main event itself of night two, Roman and Brock. Was it a great match? No. Was it as good as the WrestleMania 31 match? No. It went for 12 minutes. About 7 of them were just kind of slow-paced. Roman wearing down Brock, or Brock kind of, getting his breath back, that type of stuff. So over half the match was that. The other bit of the match was kind of finisher spam. It's Roman and Brock, playing the hits, doing their finishes. You got your Superman punch, your spear, your Kimura. You got Brock doing suplexes, the F5. If you've seen one match, you've seen them all with these two. But yeah, it was a good way to kind of close off this story, because this story's been going on since SummerSlam. They're closing it off, putting the end to it. Roman Reigns gets the win. The ending was a bit weird. Obviously, Roman did something to his shoulder. Hopefully that's not too bad. And then Brock seemed to not call an audible, but they seemed to just kind of rush the finish a little. And then Roman Reigns got the win. So Roman finished the show holding 2 belts. Good stuff, good stuff. The one thing I want to talk about in this show as well, the Pat McAfee stuff I loved. Pat McAfee's entrance, I saw some people saying it sucked. I really liked it. I thought it was a vibe, it was a bop. Pat McAfee coming out, got the cheerleaders there. That music, I don't know the exact name of the song. If you watch the show, you'll know it. It just works so well for Pat McAfee. You could have easily had some intern in the WWE music department throw together some, auto-tune piece of crap theme song for Pat. You could have done that, but they didn't. Instead, they had that recognizable, easy to chant along to song for Pat McAfee. So I thought that was great. The match with Austin Theory was enjoyable. Pat McAfee is just like Logan Paul. He is the constant, natural sports entertainer. He makes sports entertaining look like he was just born to do it. So yeah, honestly, really good. The big spot with McAfee where he does the big backflip off the top rope, lands just perfectly on his feet as though he'd been practicing gymnastics his whole life. Pat McAfee then runs up the turnbuckles, massive suplex, Austin Theory. This match, I saw some people on Twitter being like, oh, well, Pat McAfee buried Austin Theory. This is just the wrestling community being the wrestling community. It really is. Pat McAfee, he's just a sack of fun to watch. Like, when Pat McAfee's in the ring, your attention is solely on Pat McAfee. He's entertaining. He's charismatic as it gets. Really good. McAfee got the win. Afterwards, Pat McAfee and Steve Austin are drinking beers together. Pat McAfee, you can tell, like, the kid in him was just, like, marking out inside. It was an awesome moment. Stone Cold stuns Pat McAfee. Mr. McMahon comes down there, and we get a 76-year-old Vince McMahon being, oh, damn it, pal! Let me beat his ass! Let me beat his ass, oh yeah! Let me beat his ass, oh yeah! So Vince McMahon strips, and then he's looking jacked, and then he beats Pat McAfee in a 3-minute match, which is what it's Vince's show. Why not? It was a fun little moment. Vince McMahon got a win, and then Austin hit one of the worst stunners ever on Vince. Vince's legs like collapsed like it was the 2005 Royal Rumble. It was kind of hard to watch, but it was funny. So yeah, that was good. Match of the night was Edge and AJ Styles. These two went for 25 minutes at WrestleMania. It's the kind of thing which 2 years ago, when these two had the little face-off in the Royal Rumble, it's the match that we wanted to see then. Finally, 2 years and 2 months later, WrestleMania 38, Edge and Styles, they just did their thing. Edge is the heel here, AJ Styles is the babyface. Dynamic clicked really well. The fans were behind Styles. I thought more fans would cheer Edge, but they didn't. Edge just plays the heel that well. As far as the moves, I mean, I'm not going to recite moves here. Just go watch this match. The best part of this, I thought, was the kick out of the Styles Clash. I thought the way Edge made you genuinely believe that he'd lost the match, and then he kicked out. That was a legitimately great near fall. The ending with Damian Priest getting involved and basically costing Styles the match, I thought that was brilliant. Having heel Edge, now will be heel Damian Priest. Maybe you can throw Elias in there or someone like that. Make, I guess, a new Brood or just a new type of stable. You can have Edge getting Damian Priest and maybe another guy, The Rub. So I think that whole thing is just brilliant. AJ Styles, he looked great in this match as far as the in-ring performance, and just generally, he's not harmed by this at all. The man spent a year and a bit in a tag team with Omos, so a performance like this at WrestleMania only elevates his stock even further, so that was really good. The rest of this, I mean, the opener with Triple H leaving his boots in the ring, welcoming everyone to WrestleMania, yet another, really good, wholesome WrestleMania moment, which, that's one of the things that this show did so well. It was just moments aplenty, which is what you can really hope for from WWE. As I said at the start of the review, it's a modern-day WWE WrestleMania done the best way they can, because nowadays, WrestleMania is realistically not going to have a bunch of the legends wrestling. I mean, I say that, and Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestled a match, and so did Vince, but what I'm trying to say is you're not going to have your Undertaker match anymore, you're not going to have your Triple H match, you're not going to have your Shawn Michaels match, Cena's not going to wrestle anymore, The Rock's not wrestling anymore, no Batista, no Goldberg, we're lucky we have a Brock appearance still, Randy Orton's in the mid-card, we don't have as many of those, big top-tier names wrestling anymore, so it's about having moments that'll make either them look really cool and have a cool nostalgic moment for fans, putting over some young talent in the process, all this kind of stuff. It works seamlessly and made WrestleMania 38, in my opinion, the best WrestleMania since 31, I'd say. If this WrestleMania was one night and they really condensed this, and by really condensed, I mean Cody and Seth Rollins stays, Becky and Bianca Belair stays, Logan Paul's match stays, Stone Cold and Kevin Owens stays, they keep the Triple Threat Raw Tag title match, you keep Edge and Styles, and you have the Pat McAfee Austin Theory stuff, and then Reigns and Brock. I'd say if the show is that, and it's a one-night event, I'd say this is genuinely going to be a top, probably 5 WrestleMania ever, if it was just that. Instead it was 2 nights, and I think it'll end up being a top probably somewhere in the teens. I don't think this was a top 10 WrestleMania all time, but I think it was really good. And just some real quick things to mention. Lashley and Omos was fun. I enjoyed that. Knoxville and Sami Zayn, wasn't the biggest fan of it, to be honest. Anything goes. Wee Man beating up Sami Zayn, bit mid. Sheamus and Ridge Holland was Sasha Banks and Naomi winning the the women's tag titles. Thought that was good. And then Gable Stevenson having a little moment, just throwing Chad Gable after a really fun opening triple threat Raw tag title match, which RK Bro won. I enjoyed that. So overall, WrestleMania 38, fun. That's WrestleMania in a word. It was fun. It delivered. The build sucked, but WrestleMania 38 delivered. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, sure, like, comment, sub, drill. See ya.